The world is full of cheaters and scammers. Some of them often use the same technique to scam us, and you've probably heard of the name of the technique, the Ponzi Scheme. The phrase Ponzi scam was first used in reference to the Italian con artist Charles Ponzi. Mr. Ponzi conned hundreds of individuals out of money in the 1920s via a postal coupon scheme. It was the original Ponzi scheme. Want to know about it? Then stick to the end of the video. The Ponzi scam, however, is not exactly Ponzi's plan. When Ponzi was a little child in Italy in 1880s, Bostonian Sarah Howe employed the scheme to steal money from the accounts restricted to women. Howe made incredible profit claims, claiming that the money of investors would double in just 9 months. The Boston Daily Advertiser reporters looked into it and found out about her con. In the end, she was prosecuted for her actions, found guilty and sentenced to 3 years in jail. She was able to carry out the same deception for 2 years after being let off. The plan was also discussed in Charles Dickens's writings from the 1840s, but the original scam came later with the hands of Charles Ponzi. The fraud that resulted in Charles Ponzi's conviction and incarceration has been associated with his name. A Ponzi scheme is, at its core, a false investment wherein early investors are compensated with the contributions of later investors, giving the business the appearance of legitimacy. When he got a letter from Spain one day, he noticed something unusual: a coupon for postal replies. A coupon that covers the postage of a returned letter can be included with letters that are mailed overseas. The pricing for these coupons varies in each nation, which is an intriguing fact. Ponzi's plan was to profit from lower postal rates in certain nations while selling them at a premium in others. A sender could pre-purchase postage and include it in their message at the time, thanks to the Postal Service's international reply coupons. The recipient may then use the coupon to purchase the priority airmail postage stamps they would need to reply by taking it to their neighborhood post office. It was typical for stamp rates to fluctuate across the participating nations due to the frequent fluctuations in postal costs. Here, his genius brain came into play and he became a legendary scammer. Excited? Let's go through his plan then. Ponzi exchanged dollars for depreciated currency and then purchased postal stamps at this set price in 1906. Ponzi could purchase American stamps at a 60% discount and afterwards resell them someplace else at face value if the value of a foreign currency had fallen by that much. For investments in these postal coupons, Mr. Ponzi guaranteed a return of 50% within 45 days or a 100% return within 90 days. In the meanwhile, he brought low-cost international reply coupons abroad. He would then trade those coupons for more costly stamps than the ones the coupon was initially bought for. Arbitrage is the term used to describe this type of market manipulation, which was not unlawful. However, Mr. Ponzi committed fraud when he continued the plan by paying early investors with deposits from new investors. Investors flocked to Ponzi when he promised to double their payment in 3 months. Most investors simply reinvest their investment returns to increase their profits. Many investors took advantage of the high returns by taking out mortgages on their houses. Ponzi, however, had knowledge that the investors lacked. However, Titanic-sized ships would need to deliver these coupons from Europe to North America in sufficient numbers to turn a profit. Just to satisfy one investor, a few thousand coupons had to be purchased, sent and sold. Ponzi kept the knowledge to himself since that was the only logical course of action for a con artist. Assume that everything is going well for the company and that attracting new investors is the sole source of the rewards for the investors. This is the definition of a Ponzi scheme in one sentence. Behind the scenes, Ponzi was unable to pay his investors with earnings. Instead, he had to use money from new investors. But a string of investigative articles published in the Boston Post helped bring down Ponzi by sparking a federal criminal investigation that resulted in mail fraud charges. Ponzi's way of living eventually caught the attention of the media, which ultimately caused a drop in new deposits. The jig was up since there was no way to reimburse investors. The phrase Ponzi scheme first appeared after Mr. Ponzi was eventually apprehended and convicted of running a fraudulent scam. Ponzi served 3 years in federal prison after entering a guilty plea to mail fraud charges. After that, he was sentenced to 9 years in state prison. He was expelled from the country in 1934 and passed away in Brazil in 1949 at the age of 67. So, what do you think of Mr. Ponzi? Tell us in the comments. Thanks for watching.